Welcome to Northern Arizona. This is the heart of the American Southwest, and I'm going to show you everything you need to know to photograph the legendary Antelope Canyon. If you've been on the landscape photography scene for long enough, then you have undoubtedly heard of Antelope Canyon. This is a place which definitely enjoys legendary status amongst camera nerds the world over. If you have not heard of Antelope Canyon, then hopefully this episode will be a nice introduction to one of the most famous photography destinations of all time. Our story begins just outside of Lake Powell, near the Arizona-Utah border. This part of the nation is home to some of the most iconic landscapes in all of America. Rolling deserts extend as far as the eye can see, and wherever you turn, there appears yet another strange and unusual geological formation which seems to defy all reality. Now, I could easily go on and on about all of the artistic places to aim your camera here in the American Southwest, but let's try to stay focused. You're here for Antelope Canyon, so we'll try to stay on course. Before we get into the nitty-gritty of shooting photos in the canyons, we'll first need to go over a few of the basics. To begin, there are actually two locations which share the name Antelope Canyon. You have Upper Antelope Canyon and Lower Antelope Canyon. These two locations are a little over a mile apart from one another, and while both are absolutely spectacular, they are distinctly different from one another. Both Upper and Lower Antelope Canyons are located in the heart of Navajo Nation. The only way you can enter either of these canyons is if you have a paid Navajo guide. Do not, under any circumstance, attempt to go renegade and sneak into the canyon by yourself. That would be a dick move, and it's also really hard to get great photographs from inside of a jail cell. A quick Google search will put you in touch with a number of commercial operators who can set you up with a tour, and the Navajo are all very friendly. Now that we're all playing by the rules, let's get started. We'll begin with Lower Antelope Canyon, which in my humble opinion is the more charismatic of the two. Now, if we're being honest, operating in these canyons is tremendously challenging, which is why I have little more than a few nuggets of absolutely appalling video footage. Filming is somewhat frowned upon by the commercial operators who run these canyons, and as a result, all I was able to come up with was a few fleeting clips of wandering auto-exposure spy footage. But hopefully, you'll get the idea. Their recent popularity has pretty much turned these narrow slot canyons into a winding conveyor belt of curious, smartphone-snapping tourists. The crowds can get more than a little tedious, and each tour is on a very limited time budget, which means everyone is in a hurry. This is not the time to be learning how to use your camera. You need to dial in your settings, nail down your sharpness, and lock in that shot, because at any given moment, you're only seconds away from being stampeded by the running of the bulls. The bulls being tourists, of course. In all the excitement, I'm pretty sure that my heart almost exploded from adrenaline on several occasions. But then again, no one ever said that landscape photography was easy. Now, I know what you're thinking. Those colors can't possibly be real. The answer is yes, they are real. And also, no, they are not real. Yes and no. Okay, I promise I'm not having a stroke right now, and thankfully, neither are you. Everything will become clear in just a moment. In order to illustrate this phenomenon, we're going to change gears for a minute and switch to portrait photography. Now, this might seem like we're going off the rails, but bear with me. Let's say you're working outdoors on location. You place your subject in the shade for some nice soft light, trip the shutter, and voila! You just created your first smurf by accidentally leaving your color temperature set for sunlight. Now, thankfully, any good RAW file will enable you to convert your smurf back into a human. But for now, let's go back to that original file. Notice that everything in the shade is nice and blue, while the backdrop, which is being hit by sunlight, is considerably warmer. This phenomenon of dual color temperatures is very similar to what we experience in Antelope Canyon. Physically, the rock walls are all the same rusty orange color. When sunlight strikes the top of the canyon, we see those colors for what they really are, a vibrant swath of red and yellow. However, as light travels deeper into the canyon, the color of the light becomes more ambient, slides up the Kelvin scale, and changes rather drastically, creating a wide range of pink, magenta, and purple. As a result, the top of the canyon glows with a warm golden hue, while the depths of the canyon take on a much cooler mood. So, when you aim your camera straight up, you often experience the full range of Kelvin color temperature scale all at once, and the results are like nothing else in this world.
All right, here we are. You've made it halfway through. Thank you for not falling asleep. Do me a solid and hit that subscribe button. It only takes a second. I know you can do it. All right, cool. Back to the show.
Now, in the interest of full disclosure, it is my duty to inform you that as of January 2018, tripods are no longer allowed in Lower Antelope Canyon. That's kind of a bummer for anyone who loves bracketing as much as I do. But due to a record volume of new tourism, tripods are now seen as a roadblock amid these narrow passages, and the bulls have little patience for photographers clogging up the lanes. You can still bring your cameras, just no tripods. Thankfully, technology is coming to the rescue on this one. Given the powerful new cameras flooding the market today, you should probably have plenty of performance to get what you need on a handheld basis. And to illustrate this point, these next few images were shot exclusively on the iPhone. So, hopefully we've just covered a few of the basics which will help prepare you for your next trip to the American Southwest. Lake Powell is a fantastic destination for landscape photography because it's home to a number of iconic locations. Whether you're exploring the fantastic slot canyons or standing on the edge of infinity, these incredible landscapes are certain to leave a lasting impression. Our little blue planet is home to all kinds of amazing destinations, and I've had the privilege to produce photographic artwork for homes and businesses all across the nation. If you are interested in acquiring your own little piece of Mother Nature, every image which appears in this episode can be purchased from my website. So be sure to check out the link in the show notes below, and I look forward to providing your next fine art photograph. Well, I certainly hope these little pointers will help you on your next Slot Canyon adventure. In the meantime, always remember, the camera will take you places you never imagined.